saying. I'm trying, guys. Come on.
Matt, McCall hadn't been around the last couple of games, I don't think.
They're expecting a baby, and so they've been. He texted me the other day. They were walking, hoping that the baby would come. So hopefully in the next day or so. Very excited for them.
Keith Taylor, what's going on?
Yeah, lower hamstring strain. Shouldn't be too long, but out. So we have a real battle at the corner position right now. We kind of feel good about the first three: JC, Dante, and CJ, and then a ton of talent there, a ton of guys that we want to see. So, and Keith going down, unfortunately, but for him, but gives those other guys a chance to go out and win some jobs. So, hope maybe a week, 2 weeks, depending on how his recovery goes.
And JC, he's coming along.
Yeah, the doctors are handling it. Hey, we're going to do this day by day by day, but all signs were good yesterday.
Matt, what did you see out of JC those first almost 3 games last year? Talk about your excitement for this year.
Yeah, I mean, the JC last year was a physical presence, was explosive, aggressive. Didn't back down from anybody. We missed him when he was gone. He has a chance, I think, to be a really special player.
You guys acquired CJ last year. I think both you and Scott said this is a move for down the road. Is there anything you've seen in him granted a week and a half, but in OTAs where you're like starting to see what we think he can become?
Yeah, I think, I know. Let me say this. I know in OTAs you saw the turn in CJ because, he had off-season shoulder surgery. So a lot of things last year, he was playing through a shoulder that needed to be repaired. He battled through it. In OTAs in spring, I think you saw his personality emerge. What does that matter? Well, it just means he was comfortable, right? And I think you saw him really compete to the level he was allowed to. And I think so far this camp, he's been really, really, really good. He does some things every day that not many people can do just athletically. So, and he's healthy, which is a big deal for a young player like that.
Would his ability allow you to potentially buck JC inside in some nickel situation?
When those three are healthy, we've played a lot with in the spring. We played a lot with JC at the nickel, and JC's unique in that he's so big he can fit the run and play man to man. So we have a lot of options there. Miles Hartsfield's another guy who's big, fast, run, athletic. But when we want to go with 3 corners, those would be the 3, and we would just put JC inside.
What's it about your line so far after a couple of days of pads?
The offensive line?
Yeah.
There's still a lot to do. Like you can see, we're not quite as square as we want. The pad level isn't where we want. We've got really good rushers, and so the pass protection isn't where we want. But you can see them trying to establish a physical presence. Moten had a great block today on 9-on-7, and that's what guys like that should do. They should dominate the line of scrimmage, and so. Like I said, there's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of combinations that we're working with, trying to see who the right guys are. But more importantly, we want to establish sort of a physical presence and a mindset that I think is beginning to really take hold, and I know is who those guys are.
When you're looking at tape and you're evaluating your quarterback, what kind of specific things are you looking for?
I think every single day, really, we're looking at it more as a correction, as opposed to an evaluation. But in the overall picture, when we start to evaluate, I think you're looking at number one, mastery of the offense. Who understands how to protect themselves in protections, who understands all the run checks, who understands the timing, not just on the blackboard, but when you watch the tape, it jumps out. So it's mastery of the offense. I think it's playmaking. Who moves the ball? Who makes the plays that you have to make. And then finally, it's situational awareness and mastery. Getting into those situations, understanding third down, understanding 2-minute, making the plays that matter there. So, we've only had 2 minutes, so 2 minutes so far. So we're just in that beginning phase. But as we go throughout the process, I think those are the things that you're really looking at. A day like today where Baker's with the 1s, Sam's with the 2s. It's kind of hard to do it. So you have to do it sort of over a total amount of time in my mind.
Speaking of Baker with the 1 Sam with the 2s, is there a plan going forward now? It's kind of like last week you did that and then sprinkled them in both with the 1s. Is that what you're going to do?
Yeah, we're still sort of in that install phase. So to me, like when they're coming in the morning and they're getting like 70 plays from Ben, and it's just sometimes it's a little cleaner just to do it the way we're doing it. So tomorrow we'll mix both guys. The plan this week was, we have 3 days in a row. Then we have we'll give the guys a day. You could practice. We'll walk through that day, kind of like we've done in the last couple of years. So tomorrow we'll mix the quarterbacks a little bit more, and then at some point it'll start to accelerate into the next phase of once everything's in, sort of rotating them every day.
When do you think everything will be in?
With Ben, every day that the defense. I think we're like, I don't know, 75% of the way there. So probably within this week, maybe a few things dropped in next week.
You said he had to learn the offense, learn the master after that. Where is he in that process?
I think he's doing a great job. Baker's done a great job of learning the offense. He's really, really smart, doing a great job of recall, doing a great job of learning as much as you can really imagine a guy like that doing. So works at it. We test guys every day. His tests come back in the hundreds. He's a pro's pro.
Matt, we saw Baker and Robbie connect today, one of those big plays that you were mentioning. What have you seen from Robbie this camp? Just kind of your evaluation of him to this point.
Robbie's doing a great job of working, learning the offense, coming in. I think, when we look at the way he's doing in meetings, he has a better grasp now after being here for a week of, what he's supposed to do, the technique that he's supposed to do it with, being very coachable, playing fast. He looks fast. So it was great to see them connect on that. Again, as the head coach, I'm always like, great to see them connect. Hey, why did they get behind us? So there's always a, kind of a duality to that. But, it was good to see those guys hit connect.
Man, I know you're talking about doing a lot of install now with the quarterbacks. You're still in the install stage. At what point do you guys start, evaluating to see who should be the starter? What point do you start looking at that? Or is that?
I think it's just down. It's ongoing. I think you take everything into account. You see how every day goes. All those things matter. Everything matters. So we're seeing everything right now, but we have kind of a long-term picture here of when that is. So I don't think there's a timetable. To be quite honest with you, if there was a timetable, I probably wouldn't share it. I think those guys, so many things happen along the way. We just want to make sure that we do the right thing by the both guys and by the Panthers.
Do you see anybody taking the lead at this point?
Not yet.
It looks like all the quarterbacks have found Stephen Sullivan a lot over the last week and a half. What have you seen from him not just this offseason, but going back to last year that's kind of got you?
So Sullivan played on the scout team last year. So we play another team with a great tight end. He'd be that tight end, and he was a problem. I mean, he can run 4.4 wherever he runs. He can jump through the gym, and he's a great worker. He'd turn around. He'd play defense for us on the scout team. So just someone that I really grew to respect his work ethic, but you could definitely see his talent. So brought him up at the end of last year. Really got a chance to get in some games. Get a chance to play a little bit. Really good spring. Really good OTAs. Stayed in Charlotte. Worked out. The key for Sully is we know he's a great route runner. Can he block? Can he give us impact on special teams? And I believe he can. And so he has to go out and show it and demonstrate it. But he's doing a really nice job both on offense and on special teams right now.
Do you see the quarterback's confidence in guys like Sullivan and CJ just sort of grow each day?
I don't think there's a guy here that doesn't have confidence in CJ already. I think they recognize what Sullivan can do. I think sometimes we brought in so many young wideouts after the draft that can they're learning. This is a lot, so that can be hard sometimes if you're in with those guys. But those guys, to their credit, are picking it up faster. Like I've been pleased with seeing Derek Wright get out there and make a play. So, but yeah, I mean. If you're a quarterback and a guy's going to be where you think he's going to be, but you have guys like Higgins is always where he's supposed to be. Zylstra, those guys are going to be where they're supposed to be, and I think the guys have a lot of confidence in those guys.
What are your thoughts on Xavier Woods after seeing a couple of the pads on? I mean, he's a guy who doesn't look like someone who missed OTAs or minicamp at all.
Yeah, fantastic. He has such a great feel for the game. When we signed him, we afterwards. We had heard from a lot of people, hey, he's one of the smartest football players we've coached, and you can see that out here. And he's a pro's pro. He's out there. There was a play yesterday. One of the young safeties didn't take the over route. He comes, kind of on the field, not in his face, just like, hey, why didn't you take the over route? It's so powerful when your veteran players are coaching the young players. They hear it so well. So he's got a great demeanor, great way about him, true pro, but he's really, really smart. So and he plays hard. So I'm anxious to see him throughout camp just continue to get reps and get more comfortable.
Yeah, with that being said, what kind of responsibilities does he have in his defense? Is he making calls back there, helping?
Yeah, I mean, we are a very adjustable defense. You know, so we expect our safeties to do a lot of communication with the corners, with the linebackers. In fact, if there's something that we didn't do a great job of last year, it would be that. You know, and again, not your vanilla stuff, but all of a sudden, you know, they're lined up wide, they motion in, and you have to make a quick call. And sometimes young players don't have the confidence to do that. So Xavier's out there, and he's not only communicating, he's demanding that you confirm it, which is what we want. It's great, though, when there's a picture of it and guys can say, okay, just do that. I can't comment on other people. I've been on record of what I think, so I just got to worry about the guys, and hopefully they feel good about the way we're doing it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Appreciate y'all.